Andrew McCart, iFLTV, delighted to be joined by the big man himself, Billy Nelson. Billy, I normally get my friendliness out the way and say how you doing, Billy, and all that sort of stuff, but I know you're short of time, so let's just jump straight in at the deep end. Last night, the IBF has granted Paddy Donovan his appeal for the rematch, immediate rematch against Lewis Crocker. Before we break it down, just give me your initial reaction to all that.
Disgrace, absolute disgraceful. It's rewarding foul play, isn't it? Elbows, heads, punches after the bell. They're claiming that the clacker never went. Well, I don't know what it was. I heard with 10 seconds ago it was a clacker.
Obviously, again, I've seen Lewis Crocker. He's taking a bit of downtime now on his Instagram and whatnot. But have you spoke to Lewis? What's his thoughts on it all?
Lewis Crocker will fight Paddy Donovan, no problem again. Let's just hope it's a much cleaner fight than the first fight. Because it had a major effect on the outcome for Lewis. Listen, nobody's not, and under no circumstances am I trying to take anything away from Paddy's performance. Paddy boxed really well, but Lewis couldn't perform at his optimum because he's cut. He's got an elbow right that caused a cut here. He's cut out here. That closed completely. It was a fucking nightmare the night for him, to be quite honest with you. But for the IBF to, they're basically saying the referee never done his job right. The referee gave him countless warnings. He deducted 2 separate points, so you only get 3 warnings. So then he's punched after the bell. But let's not forget the elbow. People tend to forget that. The elbow was a shocker. That busted his left eye open.
So, again, you're calling it disgrace that the IBF have done this, but are you willing to accept it and rematch him? And obviously, all the controversy behind it, and just obviously get this done, and hopefully it's a fair fight in your eyes.
Well, we've no problem fighting Paddy Donovan, but we should be fighting him as the mandatory challenger, and he should be the kind of another fighter and anything. And I want an appeal against it. I want no an appeal against the rematch getting made, but the appeal. I'd like the fight made without it being ordered by the IBF.
Right. So that's down to what, Eddie Hearn?
No, it's down to the IBF.
Right.
I mean, let's Big Eddie. He's in the changing room with Andy and Paddy Donovan, peeing with him. He basically telling you you're going to get a rematch. He's told him the script. Meanwhile, his other fighter is in the other changing room, getting 22 stitches in his face, and he's not even come in to see how he. As I was saying, Eddie managed to find his way into Paddy Donovan's room and in the change room after the fight. You know, oh, it should be a rematch. That's after he told me, by the way, I apologise, Billy. That was a clear punch after the bell. A clear punch after the bell constitutes a foul, Edward, which would be the third foul, which constitutes disqualification. Doesn't it constitute getting a fucking rematch? We've no problem with a rematch. I was disappointed in Eddie that he went into Donovan's room, change room, and blabbed all the rematch should be on the cards, or the IBF should be doing this, and the IBF should be doing that. Meanwhile, his other fighter is in the first aid room getting 22 stitches, and he's not even come out and say, "You all right, Lewis? You all right?" Pish. Absolute disgrace.
Obviously,
He's clearly favoured one camp over the other here.
is that what you believe? Is that what you believe?
Oh, 100%. He's told him, he's told Andy Lee and Paddy basically what's happened in the change room 20 minutes after the fight. Hasn't he? He said in interviews within an hour of the fight, he's told them, "Oh, after telling me in the ring, how two-faced can you be?" He's told me after in the ring, 100%. Apologies, Billy. That punch was after the bell,
Mm.
making it the third foul of that fight, which deems an instant disqualification, which the referee done. So where is the the only foul play here really has been IBF and the ruling.
Yeah, obviously, can you understand though that now this is obviously people how big this rematch is going to be, and if it is going to be as big as we think it is, where are you hoping? Do you think it'll come back to Belfast?
Oh, we'll go to the same venue because they don't want to pay the money to go to Windsor Park, or
And
it's expensive to go to Windsor. Well, it's obviously any outside stadium's expensive, but they got a right touch. The Matchroom got a right touch in the first fight because I think their budgets were based on maybe 4,000 people, when they get 7,500 in.
I saw somewhere as well that Boots Ennis against Danny Onis. If Boots wins, he's talking about moving up to 154. That will bring that IBF vacant. Do you think that maybe all going well, that the rematch could possibly or hopefully be for the vacant IBF world title?
100% it'll be for the world title
Mm-hmm.
because one's mandatory, and somehow Paddy's went from number 6 to number 3 after a loss. He's the only boxer I know that's ever moved up in the rankings after losing. No matter what way you done it, you still lost. So how you moved up?
Well, explain that to me. What do you think? What do you think
Well,
it is?
you explain. Well, I tell you, you explain it to me how it's happened. How can that happen?
Well, again,
What about the wee Japanese boy that has been highest ranked for about 6 months? How does he feel? Wait a minute, this wee Irish guy get disqualified and beat, but he's moved ahead of me in the rankings. Hello.
you seem.
Only in boxing, eh? Fucking.
Well, that's why. Is
Mate,
that
come
is?
on, come on.
I remember last interview. I spoke to you, Billy, and I said, "Do you still love the sport?" And you said, "I'll always love boxing."
Hate the politics.
Mm.
Dogs. Dogs.
But you still love the sport.
Peter Fury knocked it in the head. You go and watch the interview about with Peter, where he talks about boxing's the best sport on the planet. The people in boxing are fucking rats. A lot of them.
Obviously, one final one on the rematch. You and Lewis happy to run this back, and
Of course.
obviously, yeah.
We don't care who we fight as long as it's for the world title, and it should be for the world title. But we're all being very presumptuous that Boots Ennis is going to beat Stanionis. Stanionis is a fine fighter,
Mm-hmm.
and if he wins the belt, then he might want to go and unify. So that puts the Paddy Donovan Lewis rematch. What is that going to be for the final eliminator?
Mm.
I wonder how many eliminators Lewis has got to fight before he can fight for the world title now. Maybe Eddie can tell us.
Well, I'm here with Eddie today. I might ask him. Do you want me to ask him?
Ask him. Ask him.
No, I will do. But
Ask him why he never came into the change room and seen how Lewis was after he got his stitches. That'd have been nice.
I'll ask him. I'll ask him. You seem a bit peed off at all, Billy. But um,
Listen, I'm not pissed off that we're fighting Paddy Donovan. If we're fighting Paddy Donovan for the world title, magic.
mhm.
You know, it'll be another good fight. It'll be a good, it'd be great for Ireland. And listen, Paddy Donovan boxed supremely well that night. He boxed really, really well. Lewis not so well. So Lewis, Paddy got he got the better of Lewis on the night, boxing wise, on Lewis's worst night ever. Couldn't have went any worse, and I don't know, but I can't put my finger on it. Why it was why well we can, but that will remain between me, him, and his manager. But it'll be if it's for the world title, it'll be a great fight for Ireland, shall we say?
I just want to touch on that. Obviously, don't think you think that was you said there that was Lewis's worst night. So going into the rematch, we're going to see a much better Lewis
You
Crocker.
couldn't see a worse. It couldn't be any worse. I've not, mate. He was sensational in camp,
Mm-hmm.
sensational, and to produce that performance, there's nobody more disappointed than Lewis Crocker. Let's make one thing perfectly clear here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? See all these wankers that are on Twitter, mate. They've not got a fucking clue. Not got a clue. You know what I mean?
Well, Billy, listen, that's why I want to speak to you, because the news broke last night, and I want to get your thoughts on it all, because as much as it was, you said it's going to be a great fight for Ireland, I think this is going to be a great fight, because the storyline builds it, and the fight itself. If we're going to get a better Lewis Crocker and a better Paddy Donovan, then that's the perfect ingredients for a fantastic
No,
rematch.
it's still be another great fight. But ask Eddie the same question. How can somebody move up in the rankings after they've lost?
Mm-hmm.
Ask him that question. Say, Billy Nelson wants to know, how can somebody move up from number 6 to number 3 after a loss? Irrespective of how it happened, it's still L on his record, and he moved up in the rankings. How is that possible?
I'll ask him, Billy. I'll ask him. I think he's still hovering about here somewhere. I can't see him, mind you, but I'll ask him.
If he was there now, I'd ask him.
Right. You want to ask him? Let me see if he's there. I don't know if he is there. Yes, he is there, I think. You want to ask him? No. All right. Yeah, well, like, I'll ask him. I'll do it in an interview. I'll interview Eddie, and I'll ask him and see what he says. But yeah, like I say, it's mental, the boxing world, as you well know, Billy. You've been in part of it. You've been in the massive storylines of late with Bacoli, last minute fight, and all this, that, and the next thing. So I'm sure there'll be many more storylines coming your way very, very shortly. But as always, Billy, thank you so much for taking your time to interview me, and I'll see you next week.
One wee thing I'm gonna let you and the public know. Watch May the 3rd and watch what Bacoli does to Ifir Jagba. He's looking, he's back. He's back. I mean, he must have lost 2.5 stone, 2 stone already. Yeah. He's looking brilliant.
I'll come to your new gym next week, Billy, and we'll get a chat again next week, and I'll speak to Big Martin. I look forward to it. But as always, Billy, thank you so much, mate, and I'll see you in the next one.
Take care, mate.
Thank you, Billy. Cheers, mate. Thank you.